Welcome everyone to Clayton's Classroom, a Doc of Detox show. I'm Abby Michelle, and here with me is my amazing co-host, Clayton Nolte, the inventor of our structured water units. He is here live and in person to give you the truth about the water you drink, bathe in, and shower in. So what's new in the life of Clayton Nolte?
Thank you. It's great to be with you.
Good to have you here. So what have you been up to these days? Anything new and exciting?
Well, yeah. My excitement is I'm enjoying retirement.
Oh, well.
I retired,
Oh,
so
lucky
I,
you.
it's the third time for me. So,
Okay. Well,
well, second anyway. So,
hopefully this
yeah,
one holds. Enjoy that.
right,
Enjoy that
yeah.
retirement time.
So I'm enjoying having more time to spend with people that are looking for the truth.
Wonderful. That's
And
good to hear.
yes,
And sharing all your knowledge and wisdom with
yes,
everybody
right, right,
about your beautiful inventions and all your other knowledge that you have.
yes,
It's wonderful.
yes.
So before we get started today, I have some announcements for everyone out there listening. I've been talking about it for a little while here, our Calcium Connection webinar series. So the Calcium Connection Part 1 will be airing or on November 1st. So that's going to be the first part. And then the second part will be the next day on November 2nd. Both will be airing at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you don't want to miss this series. This calcium supplement is absolutely amazing. It's ionic calcium, and it is the first and only calcium product on the planet that is beneficial for the human body. And we know calcium is so important. Our entire skeletal system is made up of calcium, so we definitely need calcium in our bodies. And most calcium supplements are actually causing the very problem that they say it's helping. So this is the first and only one on the market that's actually going to do good for your body. Dr. Wolf is currently in St. Petersburg, Florida for our combined certification courses, and that's our whole life coach, Wolf Deep Tissue, and Wolf Non-Surgical certifications. If you didn't make it to this one, no worries. We are going to be in Adelaide, Australia, super exciting, February 1st to the 12th for our Wolf Deep Tissue and Wolf Non-Surgical certifications. And then again, we'll be in Kelowna, BC here in Canada from February 24th to March 2nd for our combined certification. And that's all my announcements for right now. On today's show, we are going to be discussing how to eliminate acidosis with structured water. So some of you might be wondering what even is acidosis. Acidosis is when your body fluids contain too much acid, and it occurs when your kidneys and lungs can't keep your body's pH in balance. So a lower pH means your blood is more acidic, while a higher pH means that your blood is more basic. Acidosis is characterized by a pH of 7.35 or lower, and the pH of your blood should be around 7.4, just like your water. Is that right, Clayton?
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah. So we have some causes of acidosis. So there's two main types. We have respiratory acidosis and metabolic acidosis. Respiratory acidosis is a buildup of too much CO2. The lungs remove CO2 when you're breathing, but sometimes your body can't get rid of enough CO2. And this may happen due to chronic airway conditions like asthma, injury to the chest, obesity, sedative misuse, overuse of alcohol, muscle weakness in the chest, problems with the nervous system, or deformed chest structure. So you're just not able to breathe the way that you were meant to breathe if you were born with a deformed chest. And I know one of my clients actually had that happen, and she's never really experienced a real breath until we started working on her chest with deep tissue and opening up her ribs, and she's able to expand her rib cage in the way that it was meant to now. So that's really cool. There's lots of different ways that we can be helping acidosis, and structured water is one of the most important ways that we can bring our balance of our pH, or bring our pH back into balance. And Clayton, do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, basically, structuring water brings you water that's already in balance, and so when you're drinking it and bathing in it, it just brings everything back into balance. All the things that you're you're looking at that can be detrimental, bringing your body way out and into crises. Structuring brings it back
Right.
and neutralizes the adversarial effects.
Right.
So,
And speaking of respiratory health and the structuring water units, the portable units you can breathe through. Do you want to talk about how we can breathe through the units and get structured air into our bodies?
yes, absolutely. Yes, you can with a portable unit, and you can do this with a shower unit. You can do it with any one of the units.
Okay.
You can just you can breathe. We set up a breathing exercise that takes you through 5 or 6 steps, and each step activates your many aspects of your human physiology. Uh, the brain waves is a very important aspect of breathing, and so it takes you through being able to sleep easier, being able to be more awake and more alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I always say, and but the breathing is really really important because breathing structured air uh, really activates your brain into regulation,
Okay.
which is really really important for especially people that are caught up in some sort of let's say calamity of distress in their body.
Yeah.
The structured air uh, activates your brain into regulating, and when your brain is regulating, all the all those conditions tend to fall away uh, until we uh, until we reinitiate them. And so it's a beautiful thing for me to hear people respond to what happens to them when they take up structured breathing.
Right.
It's just magical.
Yeah. And can you explain to anybody out there who might not understand how it actually works when you breathe through it? How does it actually, what is it doing to the air exactly to restructure it so that it benefits the body more?
It's doing the same thing it does to the water. Basically, by breathing structured air, what you're doing is you're activating the hydrogen in the air.
Okay.
You're activating the hydrogen to be more balanced, to bring hydrogen to its optimum performance,
Right.
and that optimum performance is increasing the hydrogen bond angle. So it changes the geometric form of hydrogen,
Right.
and so everywhere that hydrogen goes, it's the same thing with the water. When you change the geometric form of the hydrogen, everything that water comes in contact with is instantaneously changed. Same with the air.
Okay.
So basically, you can take a portable and you can, and we talk about first off, structuring your water, putting in a spray bottle. Everything you spray with that water, you change. You
Right.
bring it into a balance. You bring it into a harmony of neutralizing toxins, and bringing a a perfect energy to the food that you're eating if you spray it. The same thing with the air.
Right.
Uh, you know, uh, I get lots of testimonies on this. Anyway, but when you spray water, you change the hydrogen form. When you blow air or you utilize structured air,
Yeah.
it does the same thing. It brings everything into balance,
Amazing.
and as you're breathing air actually is a quicker way of bringing your brain into balance, bringing your physiology into balance. Um, I mean, I can show you pictures that we developed. We used an instrument called the GDV, gas discharge visualization. It's an instrument built in Russia, and basically what it does is it shows you the human physiology. It shows you the stress, and it shows every organ and how far out it is, either pushing energy or pulling energy.
I
And
remember actually seeing some of those scans. You sent some over to us, and I remember looking at them, and they would show the before pictures of without structured breathing, and their chakras were out of alignment and just
right,
not bright colors. And then after breathing, they were completely transformed. Everything was in balance. Everything was bright and glowing, and just in perfect harmony.
right, exactly. There
Yeah,
you go.
amazing.
So and we could go through a breathing exercise if you wish. Uh, I don't think I have a portable in my hand right here, but
Yeah.
anyway, basically for those of you who have it, pretty much everybody knows about this that has a unit. We had talked about it in Clayton's classroom for years prior to
Yeah.
working with Daryl, with Dr. Wolf. But it's a simple exercise. If you do that 2 or 3 times a day, it can aid your physiology to be more harmonious than you ever were before. You know, it's
Wonderful.
it's like Daryl's all everything that Daryl represents, uh, his tea, for instance. You know, it brings the same it brings the same energy. You
Yeah.
know, like as I'm sure the calcium would, and that's one of the first things I'm going to order
Yeah.
is some of your calcium. I mean, it sounds this is what the body really needs,
Yeah, it's
and
amazing. It's delivering the calcium that is in different areas of the body. It's going to deliver it back into the skeletal system where it's needed so that we can have our strong bones, and then we're able to function the way that we're meant to function. So, same
right,
thing with the structured water and the structured air. We're breathing in we're breathing in the structured air that Mother Nature would have intended for us to
absolutely,
breathe in, and
absolutely,
we're drinking
yeah,
the
You
water
are the
that we
first
were intended
participant
to
on this
drink as
super
well.
conference. Please
Um,
hold while we wait
it's
for the others to join.
it's like the phone just rang, I think. Was there a caller on me or?
We had to drop the call and had to log back in.
Oh, okay, perfect. We're all good. But Clayton, I don't know if you wanted to walk through how we would breathe through this. I can breathe through the unit and do a demonstration if you want to walk me through it.
yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Uh, yes, the first step that we put together basically is breathing in through your mouth
Okay.
and out your nose. That's step one. Step two is in through your left nostril, holding your right nostril shut, and then it'll be out through your right nostril, holding your left shut.
So,
So in through your left and out through your right, holding your left shut.
oh, I didn't. I 1 second here. Let's redo that. So, closing my right nostril, I'm gonna breathe in through my left.
Right? And
I'm
then
gonna
close
switch.
your left and breathe out through your right.
There we go. And then we'll switch.
Switch. You go in through your right nostril, holding your left shut, and then out through your right, your
Woo, feel good. It
out through
gives
your
you a
left nostril, holding
rush.
your right shut.
It really
Okay.
does. It gives you a nice
Yes.
rush.
And and everybody says when they first do this, and when they do this, they can feel in their brain, they feel enlivened,
Yeah.
awakened,
Yeah,
and it's
I could feel it. It was
truly,
like
truly works. You
energy in
know,
my brain, and then my face got a little flushed, and then I felt it just rush through, like down the center of
right.
my body through my
So
chakras.
so think about this. If you ever are in a stressed place, like if your heart is racing and your blood oxygen is way off and your acid is wrong, you know, if you can breathe through a portable, all of that will come to normal within 2 breaths. All your vital signs return to 0 point, straight up and down.
It's incredible. It's
So the third the that's the third. The fourth step is in through your left nostril, holding your right shut. Do that. And then out your mouth. And the fifth step is in through your right nostril, holding your left shut. And out your mouth. Now those two steps are a way for for trying to think to dump all the toxins,
yeah,
to alleviate your lymph system.
yeah.
It's
through the breath, we eliminate actually so much through the breast on its own
right,
too. So
exactly,
just even
exactly.
breathing, like,
Huge. It's huge for people that are struggling. I
yes,
mean, huge. And
definitely.
the sixth step is one that we kind of developed later, and it's basically reversing your portable and breathing through both nostrils, in through your nose, and then it'll be out through your mouth.
Oh,
So
okay.
it'll just be holding the funnel side up to your nose and breathing in, and then out through. That's the sixth step. And out through your mouth, right? So
Just like that.
that's something that we developed, and we've had just truly amazing testimonies from people that utilize this 2 or 3 times a day, and or any time that they feel they need it, you
Right,
know, and it's just a simple way of bringing your physiology into a healthy state of being. I
right.
mean, it's it's magic.
It's
So
also so amazing too because we, especially people who are struggling with their weight, we actually lose weight through the main place is through our breath. So
right,
if you're breathing using your deep breathing, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out, and you're doing it with your structured unit, you're going to be taking in the best quality oxygen while exhaling any toxins or fat or whatever it is that
right,
you're eliminating, are going to be exhaling that out. Um, Another thing that is really amazing with the structured water units for breathing is anybody who's going through a stressful time or anxiety or having like a panic attack or anything, it'll bring you right back into balance. So
right,
that's something to consider as well.
right, right. Yes, and when we talk about, when you go back to talk about calcium, calcium requires oxygen, to to utilize it.
Yeah,
It's an amazing. I mean, the human body is an amazing balancing act.
yeah.
You know, and so
It,
yes,
it is. The body is balancing act for sure. I always say the
right,
yin and the yang.
yes,
that's
yin and
that's
yang, right,
everything
absolutely.
in life. Yeah. All right. So that's respiratory acidosis. The next main type of acidosis is metabolic acidosis. So this starts in the kidneys and basically your kidneys can't eliminate enough acid. So there's three major forms of metabolic acidosis. The first is diabetic acidosis. So that can be attributed from poorly controlled diabetes, lacks enough insulin, and then ketone buildup in your body, which acidifies your blood. The second is hyperchloremic acidosis, and that's loss of sodium bicarbonate, which keeps blood neutral. And a lot of the times that can be from diarrhea or vomiting. The third is lactic acidosis. So that is too much lactic acid in the system. Can be from chronic alcohol use, heart failure, cancer, seizures, liver failure, prolonged lack of oxygen, low blood sugar, or prolonged exercise, especially really heavy weightlifting or really contractual exercises, because that creates a lot of lactic acid buildup in the muscles. So if you are a weightlifter, I lift weights. I always make sure I use a foam roller after every workout. I'll use a vibration machine to shake my muscles back out afterwards, just so that we're allowing blood and oxygen to flow throughout your tissues again. And when you roll on a foam roller, it is going to help to roll out some of that lactic acid from the tissues, and you won't get as sore after the gym if you do it that way. And then the next one is renal tubular acidosis. So basically, the kidneys are unable to excrete acid into the urine, and then it causes the blood to become acidic as well. So we can talk about each of those separately. Let's go back to the first, which is the diabetic acidosis. So with structured water and diabetes, let's talk about that.
Yes, we get a lot of testimonies of people bringing their diabetes into greater balance,
Mm-hmm.
less need for
Insulin?
insulin.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing I would remind people is when you do get on structured water, any condition that you have, you want to monitor it more closely, because things will change.
Right.
I mean, structured water definitely exercises your physiology to come back into balance, and that's what this is all about. This is all about bringing your whole physical being into harmony,
Mm-hmm.
and structured water brings that into place more quickly than virtually anything out there.
Definitely.
So, because it's balanced, because it is the yin and yang,
Mm-hmm.
it's balanced,
It's already
and
in its perfection.
right,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah. So I guess type 1 and type 2 diabetes, have you seen any difference with the two types?
Personally, I haven't. I listen to people and their testimonies. I encourage them to send them in.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to see, I know that we've built a significant database, and at least I hope we have separating them out and showing for people to be able to look at what people have accomplished, and I always tell people, take this into your life, prove it to yourself, and prove it to your friends and family and
Mm-hmm.
neighbors, and as you write about this and put it out there to the world, the things that have changed for you, you encourage others to do the same,
Definitely.
and build upon that to bring a greater degree of understanding of what is possible, especially in bringing people back
Mm-hmm.
to who they're truly meant to be and what they're truly meant to be.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
illness is not part of that.
No, no. We were meant, our bodies, sometimes we just create illnesses because our body's just trying to save our lives. Actually, all the time.
Exactly, all the time.
Yeah, it's
Right,
not
exactly,
sometimes, it's always.
exactly.
So,
It's a wake up call.
yeah, your body really wants you to live.
Right,
So
right,
it's going to do
right.
anything in its power to keep you
And
alive, even if it
to
means creating cancer, diabetes, whatever it might be.
right to wake you up.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, you have to
right.
pay attention to those pain responses before it becomes something even worse. Listen to your body. It's telling you things
Exactly,
all the time. You just have to
exactly.
listen. And with diabetes, of course, structured water is so important. You need to stay hydrated. You need to flush out any and all toxins that you can. And structured water is the best way to do that. I would highly recommend anybody with diabetes or any acidosis, definitely check out the humic and fulvic products, the humic acid concentrate and the fulvic acid concentrate, even getting the tummy love. Those are going to be absolutely incredible. For diabetes, the Divine Vine Elixir is number one. That's super amazing for diabetes. We've seen so much success with helping people with their condition. And make sure you're paying attention to your diet as well. With diabetes, everyone says sugar, sugar, sugar. Of course, that's a big part of it, but we have to look at, are you eating dairy? Are you eating meat? Are you eating gluten? Cut those out and you're going to see so many changes. Plant-based all the way with diabetes. We've seen so many transformations with so many of our clients. I have so many clients who came to me with type 2 diabetes and they're already on the upswing. They're feeling so good. They're doing so good. And their test results are coming back, and lots of them have already, they don't have type 2 diabetes anymore. So that's super cool. Congratulations, everybody out there. I'm super proud of you.
Right.
It's hard to switch sometimes, but you know what? Once you do it, once you kick out those old habits and switch over, and you just start to feel so good, you forget all about those old things that were controlling your life. So it's not that hard once you get in the groove and you have the right team to support you, which is what we're all about here. And I know, Clayton, you are so amazing for that too. You're always available to help talk to anybody, and you do these shows. And I know I always send you messages of people who need to talk to you, and you always get back to them so quickly. So grateful for that.
Thank you.
All right, so
It's my job.
yeah.
It's my job more now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, your permanent job now. Yeah. All right, on to the next one, which is hyperchloremic acidosis. So this is loss of the sodium bicarbonate. So with diarrhea and vomiting, which are the main contributors to this type of acidosis, let's take a look at water. If you're drinking tap water, if you're drinking filtered water, alkaline water, what is that doing to the body to cause diarrhea and vomiting? And how does structured water stop that from occurring?
Well, the structured water again is balanced. All the other waters that you would drink exacerbate the problem. I mean, basically, it's contributing.
Yeah.
Because it's depending upon where it's coming from and what's in it. It's it is tap water can be acidic, and adding more stress. And so it just again, structured water is balanced.
Yeah.
And as you continue to put that elixir into your body, it brings about. I think some of the really big things that we don't always look at is it's a stress reliever. It brings people to a place of being more at ease with their condition, more at ease with themselves and their surroundings. And this is huge for people that are stressing or strained in their stress.
Definitely. And also anybody who is experiencing lots of diarrhea or vomiting, it means you're going to be losing a lot of electrolytes. So that's crucial. And by sodium carbonate, with that, you could take baking soda and water, but if you're experiencing a lot of diarrhea as is, that could potentially cause your bowels to stay loose. So I wouldn't suggest doing baking soda and water while you have diarrhea. I would suggest adding a teaspoon in, or a half a teaspoon in, even 3 times a day after your diarrhea subsides or vomiting. The baking soda and water can calm down vomiting though. I've used it when I've been nauseous before, and it instantly cuts it out like that. So that is something that can definitely help. To get more electrolytes in, I would highly recommend getting on some Ormus minerals. We have our Ormus minerals and our fulvic acid concentrate, our humic acid concentrate. Those are jam-packed with so many beneficial nutrients and minerals that are lacking from everybody's diet. And that can be one of the main contributors as well to the diarrhea and the vomiting. We need to make sure we're getting proper nutrition in our system. And take a look at your diet if you are experiencing the diarrhea and vomiting too often, because you could be eating something that you're sensitive to. It could be dairy, it could be gluten, could even be animal proteins that are causing it, and even sometimes even non-gluten-free or even gluten-free grains can cause issues in some people. So take a look at that. Make sure you're not eating too much sugars. If you are eating sugars, make sure they're all natural. Fruits are good. Don't be over consuming any unnatural sugars, or don't consume them at all. And stay really hydrated with the structured water. And of course, our daily cleansing tea is going to purify your blood. It's going to cleanse out the blood. It's going to go into the lymphatic system. It's going to go into all your organs. And of course, it's mainly going to be taking care of the mother of all organs, your large intestine. So that's going to keep your immune system up. All right. Next on the list is lactic acidosis. So this is the lactic acid buildup in the system. This one, like I said, prolonged exercise, low blood sugar, lack of oxygen, liver failure, seizures, cancer, heart failure, chronic alcohol use are all things that attribute to lactic acid buildup. Can you talk about a little bit how the structured water helps with lactic acid specifically?
Well, it balances and flushes your system. The beautiful thing about structured water is it's an instantaneous hydration. So it's going into every cell of your body,
Right.
And bringing in the nutrients and taking out the garbage.
Right.
The garbage is lactic acid, and it takes that out and takes it out through your elimination system, and or directly out through your skin as sweat comes out through your armpits or your skin. And so the more structured water you can get at that time, the more relief you'll get from that lactic acid.
So with those exercises that you're doing, everybody, make sure you're hydrating with structured water throughout them. Super
Right.
important. Um, and with renal tubular acidosis, so the kidneys are unable to excrete acid into the urine. And I know that the structured water is absolutely incredible for the bladder and for your urinary tract. So it's going to just carry out the acid that it can't eliminate. It's going to help to get that out. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Right.
All right.
It's a fast track to relief. And if you're hydrated with structured water prior to going into those major exercises, uh, you won't you it just won't happen. Basically, because the train of events is full on. It's it's bringing you to a place of who you're truly meant to be. I mean,
Yeah,
Superman
totally. And
or
especially,
Superwoman.
yeah, exactly. But, and also with like renal tubular acidosis and the kidneys not being able to excrete the acid, lots of the times it's just because the kidneys can't take much burden. It's the last stop before um, excreting, right? So
Right?
the big thing to pay attention to with that is, how are your bowels working? Is your liver properly filtering things? So we have to look at the whole system, and that's why the tea is so important, because it's going to do the large intestine, it's going to get into the liver, it's going to do the kidneys, it's going to get in the blood, it's going to get in the lymph. So really really take a look at that, see how your body is. If you have a big abdomen and it's protruding out, then you're definitely needing a cleanse for your large intestine to get rid of some of that old waste. And then your kidneys are going to function so much better after that as well.
Absolutely.
So some risk factors of acidosis. So these are just some things that, I should hide my earpiece. Sorry. Okay. So, some risk factors of acidosis can be a really high fat diet that's low in carbohydrates. So, make sure you're getting your vegetable carbohydrates. Super important. Don't just rely on a high fat diet. I know that's so popular right now with the ketosis or the keto diet. And personally, I think maybe a plant-based keto diet with a mixture is good, but I don't agree with these really high-fat keto diets. People eating so much dairy and butter, and people think it's good to be eating this greasy bacon and eggs, and I just personally don't agree. I think that those are really toxic and carcinogenic. So really pay attention to your diet. Kidney failure is another risk, obesity, dehydration, of course, and that is one of the reasons why we're talking about how structured water can help, because dehydration, if you don't drink water, you're going to get acid buildup. That's just like plain and simple, that's going to happen. So we need to stay really hydrated. Drinking like personally, I drink a gallon of water a day. Everybody is different, but we generally want everybody to be drinking about 4 to 5 quarts of water a day to stay hydrated and ensure that they're not going to get acidosis or any other types of conditions like that. And then, of course, there can be things from like aspirin or methanol poisoning, diabetes, different prescription drug use. All prescription drugs or all types of drugs are acid forming. So if you're taking any type of prescription drug, there is a chance that you are offsetting your pH balance and creating acidosis in your body. And the structured water is great for people who do have to stay on prescription medications. Clayton, maybe you can talk about that and how it works with prescription drugs.
Right. Well, it's prescription drugs and or anything that you take in. One of the beautiful things about structuring is it neutralizes all toxins.
Right.
So, so if you think about this, I mean, everywhere this goes, it neutralizes the toxins. So one thing about prescription drugs is it's toxic, and those toxins reflect into your physiology with all sorts of maladies. I mean, if you look at the list of potential problems that come along with that prescription drug, basically it's the toxins within it that are creating the the condition that comes on top of utilizing it. What structuring does is neutralizes all toxins. And I'll
Right.
tell you a little story. I had a lady just recently call me. She said that she started, just got a portable, and so she was structuring all of her food, and she has a child that is, let's say, I don't know what the term is for it. He has a very he's very difficult
Mm-hmm.
to manage,
Okay.
and when she started him on structured water, it calmed him way down. He's on a medication, and what she did is she took her portable and she blew air on the prescription bottle
Mm-hmm.
for his medication, and all of his side effects went away.
Wow.
And so, but he was so uh, he actually asked her to get a new prescription because of that, because a lot of people think that when their side effects go away, that the prescription is no longer working.
Right. Wow, that's really interesting. Just from blowing air on them.
Right,
And that's,
exactly.
I was actually going to mention that when we were talking about breathing through the unit, it's neutralizing all of the toxins and chemicals that are in our air these days.
Right, exactly.
So that's
Exactly.
huge, especially with all the chemtrails and things like that
Right,
they're spraying in the sky. There's a
right,
nanoparticle size aluminum. They got glyphosates. They're spraying so many different things that we
right,
definitely don't want to be absorbing into our skin or
right.
breathing in through our
And, and
airways.
and one thing you want to remember, when you breathe through your nose is structuring the air you breathe.
Mm.
So your left nostril actually spins the air to the right, and your right nostril spins the air to the left, structuring it.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And so when you're breathing through your nose and you're in a toxic environment,
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing is you're eliminating those toxins
Wow.
by breathing through your nose.
But breathing through your mouth, you're not.
If you're breathing through your mouth, you buy it.
Mm.
So if you're breathing through your mouth when you're in a mall and there's a bunch of people with a cold or flu or
Mm-hmm.
that all that goes right straight into you, then what determines whether you get it or not is your immune system.
Right.
If your immune system is charged, it goes right on past. It goes right on out of your system.
Right. Very interesting. I didn't know that. And you have your nose hairs as well to help filter out anything trying to make its way in.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So breathe through your nose.
Breathe
That's
through your
very
nose,
important. I
right?
didn't know that.
You
That's
know, and
very
and
cool.
so and so I you hear this in movies a lot. People observing other people,
Mm-hmm.
and the term mouth breather.
Yeah. Yeah.
People that breathe through their mouths are uh, are there's a lot of things that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the difference between a mouth breather and a nose breather is significant.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know a few mouth breathers and they definitely get sick a lot more.
right,
And their noses are always plugged because they're eating a very high carbohydrate, or not carbohydrate, sorry, gluten and dairy diet.
right,
And their sinuses are just completely clogged that they can't actually breathe through their nose. So they
right.
breathe through their mouth and they're constantly getting sick.
There you go.
Very
So,
interesting
and there's
stuff.
there's other psychological things about people
Okay.
that breathe through their mouth. You
Do,
know,
do you care to
and
elaborate?
yeah, they're uptight. They're they're generally more dehydrated,
Okay.
and so all these things piled on to a mouth breather's physiology is mm, it's significant.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Wonderful. All right. So, some symptoms of acidosis for anybody out there thinking, do I have acidosis? I just don't know. Here are some symptoms that you might be experiencing. So, you could have fatigue or drowsiness, becoming tired very easily, confusion, shortness of breath, sleepiness, headaches, rapid or shallow breathing, lack of appetite, jaundice, increased heart rate, and your breath could smell fruity, but that's a sign more of diabetic acidosis. So those are some of the main symptoms that you might be experiencing if you have acidosis. Some of those symptoms are of course, could be attributed to lots of other conditions as well. So it is something that you would need to check. You could always check your pH balance of your body. You could do a live blood analysis if you really wanted to know. But in today's society, the majority of the population is suffering from acidosis, and acidosis is the gateway to other illnesses. So it is something that we want to catch as soon as possible so that we can correct it and we can get you back to that proper balance and in a more alkaline state so you stay as healthy as we want you to be. And our phone lines are open, everybody. If you have any questions for Clayton or I, you can give us a call at 1-888-570-9445. And let's get back to talking about structured water and how it can help with acidosis. I know that I have a lot of clients who go through this and they're struggling with it. And the main things that we put them on are the structured water, the daily cleansing tea, the curcumin cayenne, and the humic and fulvic products, because those are the holy grail of what you need. And of course the calcium, that's very important for everybody. I started taking it a few weeks ago. Oh, we have a caller. I'll talk about calcium after. Caller, you can ask your question.
Hi, Dr. Abby and Clayton, Nolte.
Hello,
I
hello.
just want to ask you.
Oh, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. How
Yes.
can we help you?
I wanted to ask Mr. Nolte about the structured water and grounding. Can he explain a little more about how
Right.
it's similar to grounding? Like you can ground your
Right.
food, ground your water.
Right. Well, structured water is in a sense an advanced water, just like nature would do it. So when water is moving and structuring through the dance, it's basically creating a ground field. You, as a human being, are grounded. At least you should be. And all the things that Abby's talking about, and we're talking about, if you're bathing and drinking structured water, it brings you into a greater ground field. You're more connected to the earth and the cosmos. You're more directly connected, and that groundedness also brings you into a state of being present. When we talk about breathing, that's one of the major aspects of breathing structured air, is it brings you into a grounded state. And one of the instruments that we look at when we do that, I talked about it before, the GDV, gas discharge visualization. What it does is it shows that when you drink structured water, you breathe structured air, how quickly your body comes into being grounded, being connected to the connected. And the visualization of that basically is your chakras. When you initiate or you do a baseline with a GDV, it shows you where your system is. And for most people, depending upon what they're doing or where they're coming out of, most people are stressed in one direction or another. When you drink structured water, it takes you out of stress. What it does is it starts your chakra system into perfect alignment. When you breathe structured air, within 2 breaths, your physiology goes into 0 point. In other words, your chakras become perfectly aligned and perfectly balanced. So what structuring does is it brings about grounding. It brings your physiology into a present state. So and another reflection of that is your emotional field goes into perfect balance. Again, perfect balance. Your emotional field is your brain. When your brain is in balance, guess what? Nothing can be nothing. I mean, if you could maintain a balanced brain in balance, you would not be able to get sick, or I mean, your physiology would be healthy all the way through, no matter what conditions arise or come at you. So that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about giving you the advantage of getting ahead of conditions prior to them coming onto you. Structured water and structured air aid your physiology to be perfect. That's it. And part of that perfection is being grounded, being connected to the earth, connected to the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole, if you look at your anatomy, you'll see that.
Yeah.
I mean, every aspect of your physiology is reflecting that.
Yeah. So the structured water is not only going to keep you grounded to Mother Earth, but it's also going to connect you to your source and the higher powers in the cosmos.
Right, exactly.
Beautiful.
And when you're structured like that, again, nothing. I mean, you're standing on sacred ground.
Mm-hmm.
You're connected.
Beautiful.
The only thing that can shake you from that is what you believe or what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So the key here is to find your power, to regain your power, to find your perfect foundation, and know it.
And water is the number one foundation.
Absolutely.
That's what we're made up of mainly.
Yes.
It's very important. Did you have any other questions, caller?
Well, I'd like to say that I took the wife to Cheesecake Factory on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and we are really enjoying our structured water unit. I have to say that people who know me have been coming to me and saying, "You seem so calm. You seem so like more energy, more happy." And I don't know if it's, I'm not sure what to attribute that to, because I'm taking Dr. Wolf's supplements.
Mm-hmm.
But we're doing the coffee enemas with the structured water,
Yeah.
drinking lots of structured water. So Cheesecake Factory, my wife had a little blue sprayer she got from Vitamin Shop,
Mm-hmm.
and she sprayed her steak, and I sprayed my shiitake mushroom burger,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, there could be a lot of GMO and glyphosate and toxins and nitrates or whatever,
Yeah.
but I feel like I just want to believe that it's structuring my junk food and allowing me to eat junk food and maintain my handsomeness.
There you go.
It's definitely
Absolutely.
structuring
Absolutely.
it,
Right on.
but
Right on.
still
Right.
don't
And
overdo it on the
I
junk
wanna-
food there.
I want to say one thing about that. The other thing that this will bring for you, and for everybody that engages in this, is it tends to lighten your system from wanting sweets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody. I talk to a lot of people, and they say they no longer have a need for candy or sweets.
Yeah.
So
I noticed since I switched to the structured water, I don't crave the sweets or junk as much either. Like,
right.
I also take a lot better supplements and I have a much better diet. So I'm getting the nutrients my body needs. So I'm not craving anything that I don't need. And that's really important too for everybody. Getting proper nutrients in is number one. The humic acid concentrate or the black gold or the tummy love, if you wanted to take any one of those ones, that has the 70 plus bioavailable nutrients in it. So that's going to make sure that you are getting what you need. Of course, eating it with a balanced diet, or taking them with a balanced diet, is super important, and drinking ample amount of structured water. And I was going to mention something about your dinner at Cheesecake Factory, but I can't remember what I was going to say, so I'll just hand it over to you again. As long as you didn't have cheesecake.
I have noticed, now that you mention it, I have noticed that I haven't been craving the sweets as much, but that could also be because I'm already very sweet.
There you go.
That's a joke.
That's
But
a good
no,
one.
really, I haven't
I like
been
puns.
craving the sweets very much. That is kind of strange. I didn't put two and two together.
Yeah. No, it's
We're just letting you know, this is, you're on that track now, and there's a lot of other things that you're going to notice. You'll have more energy. You're already stating that, and everything is going to, it's going to be a brighter world, which is, this is part of the magic of the journey. And,
yes, it's part, because I think the ATP plus is like really driving the energy. I have to admit that.
Oh yeah, that's
But your
amazing.
structured water unit, we use it for everything, making the DACA Detox tea, for the coffee enemas.
Good.
Dr. Abby, how often okay, I'm going to start doing the coffee enemas daily.
Okay.
Can I add the black gold powder in the coffee enemas every day?
You can add it to the grinds when you're making the actual enema, though. Don't put it into the bag separately. Mix it before you strain it.
Okay.
Yeah. And you could do just 1 teaspoon in each batch, and that will be fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You take care. We'll talk with you soon.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, back to it. I was talking about the calcium, and I was just going to say how calcium, you can get a buildup of it in your organs. You can get a buildup of calcium throughout your whole body in areas that you don't want it. So that's going to be causing physical blocks, and it's going to be blocking the blood flow, your circulation, your lymph flow. It's going to inhibit, or it's going to stop your organs from functioning the way that they really need to function. So when we take this calcium supplement, it's getting all that calcium and it's putting it back into the skeletal system, as I mentioned earlier, and your whole body is going to function so much better the way that it was meant to function. You're going to feel like a kid again. And mixing it with the structured water. So you take it on an empty stomach and you mix it with water, and make sure you're doing it with the structured water so that you're getting the most absorption and delivery of the calcium into your system. And that's going to clean out your blood. It's going to help with everything, because calcium buildup, you've heard of calcium deposits in the body. It's the same thing. So we want to get those calcium deposits in those other areas back into the skeletal system. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed the white dots even under their eyes that they get sometimes. That's calcium. So even those will go away over time too. And it's really good for dental health as well. There is one actually for dental health if anybody is going through major dental surgeries, or need, if they have like decaying teeth or anything like that, checking out the Dentagen, I believe that's what it's called, is really important. And
so I have a question for you. Do you guys have a package of all your supplements? Everything that's on the shelf?
like
there?
a whole package, like
Yeah.
with absolutely everything together?
Yeah.
We don't have it with like absolutely everything together, but we are putting together packages of like the foundational things, and then different packages for different conditions and things like that.
Okay. I was just thinking this as, our caller, how alive, awake, alert he is.
Mm-hmm.
Is this what you guys are creating?
Yes, it's exactly what we're doing. We're on a mission. Supply
Okay,
the world
fantastic.
with ample amount of energy. Yeah, and that's the goal. Definitely. Yeah, you'll have to check out the calcium. I'm excited to hear your opinion of it if you try it.
Okay, I
Yeah.
definitely will do that.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Just give us a call. You know the
Okay,
number.
will do. I got the number, right?
Yeah, you
Right,
got our number.
right. Right.
Awesome. Any final words for everybody out there, Clayton?
I don't know. I think we've touched on a lot today, and I was just excited to uh, be again more available for people in their quest for health and well-being,
Yes.
and so if you you can call Dr. Detox and get my number if you want. I would give it to you right now if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Uh,
Yep.
okay, so if you want to email me at Clayton, Clayton, Nolte. That's Clayton Nolte. No dots, no underscore, nothing. Clayton Nolte at gmail.com. And if you want to call me, my number is 970-946-5804. Again, that's
Wonderful.
970-946-5804.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Clayton. Thank you for being here with us today. It's always such a pleasure and treat to learn from you. You're so knowledgeable. It's such an honor for me to be on the show with you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Me too.
Yeah.
I told Daryl, you do it well,
Thank you.
actually, uh, actually, I haven't said this to him directly, but, it's a pleasure working with you, Abby.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's an honor. You can tell him that too, though. No, just kidding.
Okay, will do.
All right. So, everybody, we are taking a little bit of a hiatus from our Doc of Detox show while we're all going to be in Florida for our certification courses. I'm leaving on the 1st and we'll be back on the 13th. So, we will be back with Pet Start on November 14th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Dr. Marlene Siegel, where we will be talking about pet nutrigenomics. And the next Clayton's Classroom will be November 26th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we will be discussing the truth about alkaline water and your health. And for the full Doc of Detox show schedule, go to docofdetoxshow.com. Thank you so much for being here with us, everybody. And thank you again, Clayton.
Thank you.
We'll see you
Thank
next
you, Abby.
time. All right.